Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Missing Manual. I'm Julia.
And I'm JCK.
And today we are going to have, I think, an interesting conversation because life just blew up a little bit for me. And JCK's has some life changes. And we were talking about just when shit happens, right? And how do you pivot? And so that's going to be our topic of today.
Absolutely. I don't even know how we intro into this, but as you know, here at the Missing Manual, we're all about giving the missing manual for things that typically people don't teach. One of those things is how to pivot when life happens in big ways, and it can be scary. It's definitely been that for a couple weeks for both of us from our own respective areas, but there are ways that you can step through it and step into it. And so, Julia, do you want to kick us off?
I went down to Florida for a couple days to help one of my parents through recovery of a knee surgery, and they ended up with some significant health issues and spent several days in the ICU of a hospital and are now awaiting a surgical procedure next week. It's just been a lot when you think of the emotional toll of helping parents and loved ones through a health crisis and the physical toll of stress and not sleeping. And then all of that combined to the mental load that it takes on thinking through things quickly and taking action on things because dealing with healthcare and hospitals and all of those things is a lot. As some of you unfortunately know, I know this is a not so unique experience to many people that might be watching.
Just giving that space for a second because it's a lot. It's a lot. Not to mention, you were only planning on going to Florida for how many days at the beginning part?
5 or 6. Thank goodness, my parents' house has laundry, but I was missing my husband and my dog. I almost said dog and husband, and I think Derek would be a little offended if I put
Derek will
Ellen
appreciate that you
first.
flipped those, reversed it, right? Yeah.
He knows the truth though. No, but just, life, medicine. I had to scramble to get some prescriptions. Not all of them was I able to get additional prescriptions for. Not that I'm on a ton, but there was something that I needed that I was pivoting to something similar. The surgery is not happening till next week. So you can see I'm home for 2 days. And then Derek and Ellis and I are going to road trip to Orlando. But I will say, like, I have a wonderful community of friends and family that have all stepped up. Not that they could do much in the moment and right now, but at least from that emotional support. I've been getting lots of cute photos and dog photos, and friends that are traveling are sharing photos of their trips. And it's been fun to just live vicariously through friends and family right now. Even seeing you do the painting in your house, the stuff I can't do right now. So.
Yes, yes. I also had a big pivot. I exited my last role and am fully on my own with my consulting company, White Rock Road. And it is the right decision for me. I'm so excited. Yeah. I was grateful to a friend a couple weeks ago who helped me get out of my way, right? Like sometimes, again, when we have to pivot, I went to lunch with my good friend Patrick, who I actually knew before my memory loss and head injury. And he asked me a really important question, like, what's holding you back in this chapter of life? And my thing was, I know how to build a website. I've built websites before, but for some reason, I keep getting in my own way with my actual personal website. And so he pulls open his laptop and he's like, we're going to fix that today. Opens up Claude Code and started working with me over lunch to essentially build my design template for my website, my colors, my everything, my initial like architecture. And then he graciously handed me that package and I was able to pivot. And I'm super excited for anybody listening to this. Go check out whiterockroad.org and you can see this build of mine. But, like I said, it can sometimes be hard when you know what you have to do to prioritize things that you need to do, right?
Yeah, I
Whether
was in
it's
the I was in the final build out and getting ready to launch an AI tool I created called Your Network Read that helps you analyze all of your connections and really understand who in your network could help you get the next job or close a sales deal or make some other connections depending on where you are in your journey. And I just didn't have the headspace, and I trust JCK and her abilities and handed everything off to her and said, I'm not in a place where I can move this forward. And so Jenny has really wrapped her arms around it.
Since my last role tied up and I have
Yeah.
been fully on my own, we've been working on that. So, and it's been really, it's been fun too, because I'm learning, like, my builds have historically been done in AWS, and like we've got API keys in the back end for them and things like that. This is my first dive into like Railway and GitHub, so I'm also learning. But again, like, that's an example of pivoting, right? So something happened, being able to look at like who's in your immediate
Yeah.
circle that you could trust, and being able to hand them off some things. And my goodness, have I been through some fun with your code, my friend. I'm super excited to what it's shaping up for. And it's really an incredible, I mean, I guess we don't necessarily have to censor here, but this is really cool, sexy tech. Like, you literally take your LinkedIn download and it organizes and puts all of your contacts into like an actionable, here's who you contact, here's what to say to them, here's some contacts, here's when you contacted them last, right? Gives you amazing insights on how you're positioning yourself on LinkedIn. Like, again, it's almost like the missing manual for how to pick up and start getting LinkedIn right, which is really exciting. And so I've been honored to have been able to be a part of that. And Julia's is my first customer, and well, not official customer, but
No,
first
I'm your
customer with
official.
the agentic builds
I'm
standpoint
paying you.
for.
I am an official
Sure,
customer.
I'm
You are
just saying
making money
because my
off of
company had
this.
existed beforehand. It's just the first one since like
Okay,
I've
I haven't
shifted
paid you
to
yet, but
agentic
I will
builds.
be paying you.
Yes, I appreciate you greatly. It's amazing. But yeah, all that to say, we've had some changes. So if you listen to the show regularly, we know there's 3 or 4 of you out there, which we
Maybe more.
appreciate you greatly. But you probably noticed that like we missed a week, right? I had things going on with exiting my last role. Julia had things going on with her family down in Orlando, and sometimes you got to pivot, right? And so
I
here we are
appreciate that you
talking
took
about pivoting.
time. I appreciate that you took time over your weekend and Monday and Tuesday this week to start helping me get this really cool passion project. We're close to the finish line, not quite there
So
yet,
close.
but
It's so close. My goal is by the weekend.
yeah.
It's a
So
big,
we're
hairy, audacious goal.
Yeah. So we're close to putting something out into the world together now that I think is really cool and I'm excited about. And I still likely won't have a lot of time to do all the things I want to do right now because family is most important. And I'm so thankful. If I was at my last employer, maybe I would have gotten a week, but I cannot imagine how I would have been able to, if I were leading a global TA function somewhere, to be able to put my time and energy and focus with my family where it matters most. And so I'm excited about this journey of doing work around life and being able to step back and be present with my family when it's most important and most critical. And I hate that we're going through this as a family right now, but just thankful for my community and friends like you, Jenny, who are helping give me a warm hug when I need it most. It's been nice to take the small breaks to work on work related stuff, but the ability to be as present as I need to be has been a treasure during this crazy time.
It ended up being a blessing in disguise, right? That where you were at from an employment standpoint, that you had the bandwidth to be able to do this. Because I mean, there were some really long days that you've been, in the hospital, and
Yeah.
it's just it's hard. It's also just hard seeing a loved one that you care about going through something so big
Yeah.
and trying to keep all the other balls in motion while you do, right? And so I absolutely, and then on top of all of it, you've also been incredible to me as I've had my life being crazy, and you've been giving me warm hugs, which I'm so truly grateful for, because it's, like it's been, life has been lifing.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's no manual when shit happens like this. And, when I hope no one listening goes through something, but you likely will. And when you do, remember that there's people that care about you, people in your network. Some people might even surprise you, who maybe you didn't think would be as supportive as they were. But lean on your community and your family and your friends. Let them be there for you. Take in the love. Let people know how you need help if you know how you need help. Sometimes you don't. But when life gets messy, there are people around you that can help you navigate that path. And hopefully, this helps you.
Yeah. Well, and also, like, I love all of that. And when life gets messy, also, you like it can feel like you're alone, right? Like, I know, especially as things were escalating in my last week, I kind of felt like I was on an island. And it was like, how am I going to go through this? And it was like being able to pause for a second and recognize, no, I have people who I love. I have people who love me, who are going to be here for me and help me through that. But to what Julia said of being able to articulate what you need, right? My
And you'll be
husband, Andrew,
surprised, right? Some
yeah.
people come through for you in surprising ways.
And I'm so grateful. But also, there has been times where like people have guessed what I needed and it wasn't quite right. Right. So, like, my husband said, it was yesterday. He was like, "Hey, I know you've been having a really tough week. I also know that you love to entertain. Do you want to, should we host people at my house this weekend?" And because I know that you love to do that and you love to be around people, and he's got a perfect house for entertaining. And coming from such a truly lovely place. And Julie, I just broke down. I was like, I can't do that right now. I don't want to. Just tears. And he's like, okay, I was taking a guess. What I'm hearing is it's not what you need, but I want you to know that I'm here for you, whatever that is. And I was just like, I'm so grateful. Thank you.
And then you went and you're painting, and that would seem like you need manual work and things like
I
that
do.
to help you reconnect or get through things. So I know you told me the
Yes.
story about during your brain injury recovery, you redid your floors.
Yeah, that's the only thing I could do is I started with outlets because traditional cognitive therapy wasn't available because it was COVID. And so it was only available online and that wasn't accessible to me with my head injury. And so I asked my neurologist to clear me to do 70 outlets at my house that I was being rebuilt because he wanted me to do basic repeatable puzzles and Legos. And I'm like, well, wiring an outlet is a basic repeatable puzzle. And I was like, and then got him to clear me on that. And then I had him clear me to do flooring. Because again, there's an artistic aspect, it's systematic, right? But like my skills came back online through doing that. And to the painting example, right? Had wanted to do a couple little projects and but also like funds aren't as readily available right now. And so it's like, I really wanted this specific color, but I'm okay. So I went to the hardware store and I looked at their oops paint section. And so I'm sure a lot of people know there's paint that's been previously tinted that's super, super discounted. And I found 2 gallons that were in this beautiful blue color and they were $10 each. And it's really nice bougie paint. And it's like Beauty and the Beast blue is what I'm calling it. I just love it. And so, yeah, first, right? First coat is done. But like, again, my husband again got some great feedback from him because I was so gung ho on moving forward and like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to, take over the world and get all this stuff done. And he's like, you are going to burn yourself out, my friend. You need to slow down. He's like, you don't want to miss something right now. You've got to just take it slow. Find a couple projects that you can do where you can check that box. So I know that's important for you. And again, like what's regulating for somebody when shit happens is different. It's one size fits one. We talk about that a lot on here, is being able to identify what your unique one size fits one is. Julia picked right up on it. Sometimes my one size fits one is finding a project that has caused me some sort of dread or whatever that's helpful for me and being able to like design a life that works for me and prioritizing it to remind myself that like prioritizing what I need is important. Like I'm looking outside, my backyard has done that for me. I was in a not very good work situation and now you go out my backyard and I found that when things were going south, if I went and pulled weeds for 20 minutes, it really helped me from a sense of clarity standpoint. But I also have signs all over that are like good vibes only, positive energy only, like This is my safe space. Don't ruin it. Like if it costs you your piece, it costs too much. Like all these little signs and like isms that are those reminding messages to me. There were a couple dollars on Temu. But like reminding messages that helped me, because that chapter is done, helped me in a rather difficult chapter, which I'm so grateful for. But again, that's being able to understand what is your version of good and reverse engineer it, right? What
Yeah.
are some of your examples of what your version of good is and how you prioritize yourself over this last couple weeks?
Being in a hospital, I would just go for a walk, go downstairs. They have a little outside area. So when I wasn't waiting between doctors to see what was going on, I would do that. Or I'd go into the waiting room and text someone or pick up the phone and try and call someone if it wasn't working hours. And I had an audiobook, although that was harder to do there, but a little bit of reading or just step outside into the sunshine for a couple minutes and then a little breath work, probably not enough. But those were some of the things that I was doing to just try and stay a little grounded during this time. But it's nice to be home for 2 days and then pack. We're going to spend about 3 weeks in Florida helping as we get through this next section. It's
That's
nice to be
nice
able to
stuff.
do work anywhere.
Oh,
When life happens, this is a little bit of the manual that we both went through over the last little bit on dealing with pivots and managing the unexpected things that might happen in your personal life or in your work life.
absolutely. So thank you, as always, for tuning in. Thank you for staying with us. Drop us a message if this was helpful, or if there's another tip or trick that you have, wherever you saw this, put that on there. It's important. Sometimes people don't. Some of the best ideas that I've gotten have come from other people. And so, for both of us that are going through these new chapters, if you've got some tips or tricks on how to make it, how to ride that wave and not get stuck in the undertow, we appreciate it greatly. And as always, thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to tune into the podcast. We appreciate you. I'm JCK,
I'm Julia.
and this is the Missing Manual. Until next time.
Bye, everyone.